Alright, today we've got a double feature of runs from the Danger Pack. Both of them are going to be transform teams, and both of them are going to avoid using some of the stronger transform pets like Rollaway Monkey and Golden Tamarin. And the main goal for this first run was to try and end up with a team where I had multiple level 3 Irimote cats. I think that's the proper pronunciation. I think I got it wrong the first time. But I'm just going to call them cats from now on. And at level 1, these guys transform into random tier 1s. But at level 2, they become tier 2s. And then at level 3, tier 3s. So I wanted to have 2 level 3s so that I would get 2 tier 3s. And then I want to buff them up with the other transform units. And hopefully we get some exciting battles where we get some good hits from those particular tier 3s. Unfortunately, you can, of course, get units that don't have in-battle abilities. Like, you can get Giraffe or Emperor Tamarin or something. But there are a lot of tier 3s with strong in-battle abilities, so we're just going to cross our fingers and hope that we get some of them. Now, I can't remember if this run ended up making it to actually having 2 level 3 tier 1 cats. There were a few runs where I did get close to the end, but by then it was just too late. So this one might end up being only a single cat. I guess we'll find out. And I think, am I going to take... Oh, looks like I'm going to change our mind. Okay, yeah, we'll go for the tortoise. And we do actually take the double cat. So maybe I am going to take the 2 of them to the end. It might just be that they don't get to level 3. But even just a level 1 macaw here is very strong in the early turns. Being able to get +2/+1, even though it's temporary stats, being able to get that multiple times because you can just put the banana onto the cats and trigger a second transformation. Maybe there I could have just sold the tortoise, but I guess I wanted to keep it to build up a decent base health and then transform it into something else. So you can see here a perfect example where we get Shrimp, which has no effect in battle, and then we get the Robin, which would have done something if I had a 4 squad, but it's definitely not worth playing the 4 squad just in the hopes of that happening. But it's not going to affect us here, we still win. The tempo from the transform stats is pretty good, so we should be okay for a while. We just need to find those units that we're going to need to survive the endgame pretty soon. So it looks like I am still going to go for this double level 3. It's possible that I maybe just start losing turns and then have to combine them together or just sell one of them to fit in some of the better units. But there, the transform buffs managed to help us knock out that stonefish. So very helpful. We did actually get the desert rain frog there, which is a transform unit, but because we had no trumpets, we couldn't actually transform it. That would have been nice to... That would have been a nice bit of RNG if that had worked out. I guess it would have been possible because the other cat could have turned into the Honduran white bat. But here we do get some nice in-battle transform abilities in the seahorse and what was the other one there? I've forgotten it already. But it was Doorhead Ant, I think. So we do get level 3. I've been keeping the chickpea frozen this entire time, and I double convert the blue whale into the condor. So condor's ability is to copy the ability of a friend when it transforms. So what I'm hoping happens here is the condor is going to copy 2 interesting abilities from the level 3 cats. It looked like there, I think we got Stork. Okay, we only have 1 level 3 cat at the moment. I would really like it to be 2, yeah, so we get 2 level 3, so we get 2 tier 3 units. Probably should move the condor back as well in case I happen to copy 2 summon pets. But here we get dung beetle and flycatcher, which is absolutely hopeless. And I think we're probably going to lose, yeah. The lack of attack on the giant tortoise clearly a problem. We'll take the current to generate some extra gold for the subsequent turns, and there we go. We get the level 3, the second level 3 cat. And definitely I should move the condor back now. Yeah, there we go. So we're just crossing our fingers and hoping for some kind of synergistic combo. So we actually get Fringe Head, and then of course it's going to turn into an ant as well. So we don't actually see the Fringe Head ability, but we will see it now when the condor faints. There we go. Kind of weird to see that happening in a static pack, but I think that's the real attraction of these units, that can generate pets from any pack, basically. So we also get level 3 Giant Tortoise, which is pretty nice. Although at this point it could probably do with being transformed, since it's almost maxed out on health. It does, obviously it can go higher than that, but then look at this combo. This is an incredibly funny pairing where we get Meerkat plus Dodo, and they give a ton of attack to all the other units on the team. Kind of would have been nice to have the Giant Tortoise at the front so it got a big boost of attack, but I hadn't actually thought about what the possible spawns were. So now, incredibly, we're on 9 wins, turn 13, so we do have a reasonable chance of winning here. And it's a pack 1 opponent. Unfortunately, we get Cardinal and Tuna, which is absolutely hopeless. And it matches us with this big tier 1 Otter team, which I guess is fair enough since we have a double level 3 tier 1 as well. So we're going to lose there. Okay, now we get the stake for the tortoise, so maybe I should move it up to the front. I can't remember. Yeah, you can see here, I think probably... Yeah, it's a difficult decision there whether or not to just take the melon on the cat, because, you know, its stats are not that high, so does the melon really help that much? And if we don't transform a second time, then we don't actually get the buffs from the macaw. But here we ended up getting Roadrunner plus Mole. So the Roadrunner gives strawberry, and then the mole removes the strawberry in order to get the summon. We still lose, unfortunately. I think it was still going to be a loss even if we had kept the stake, because obviously the mole was going to remove the stake. Looks like I was thinking about resetting. I was thinking about transforming the tortoise there, but instead I'm just going to move it to the front to try and prevent a situation like that happening again where the stake gets removed. And then this is a beatable opponent, but they get Salt on the behemoth at the front from the Pandora's box. That basically sealed my fate there. There was definitely a chance to win, but the only way the behemoth could knock out the giant tortoise, I think, was getting Salt. Or maybe Stake as well. So here's another one. This one's from the replay system. Funny start here where we're going to play a single pet on turn 1. I quite like doing this from now and again just for amusement, and we actually tie, which probably shows you the strength of Fan Muscle, probably my favourite tier 1 that they've added. And then we'll just take a second one, and then our luck kind of goes the other way on this next turn, because I think, I could be wrong, but I think we needed to snipe one of the geckos there and we would have tied, but we ended up hitting the only ferret on their side. So again, we take the shrew, which is going to turn into a weasel and give us some extra gold. I feel like it's basically an auto take in this pack, especially if you're intending on going for transformation synergy. Although I don't know if that was what I was actually planning here. I might have just changed my mind halfway through. There were some runs I was trying to go for with multiple fan muscles, just keeping them the whole way. Unfortunately, here we lose the meat bone because of the bat. Yeah, so probably that cost us that round. We take the level up and we end up getting Kakapo. In fact, we get 2 of them. So at this point, I'm now trying to think up a build idea where we have double Kakapo, although by the end of the run, we're not going to have 2, unfortunately. As we face the sloth here, Unfortunately, there's no way to steal the sloth. I did show that the other day on the test server that I could use the old version of the Manakin to copy the sloth from the other team, but nothing we can do about it on the live server. I guess we could have done it on one of the later turns, you know, if it was if we had Red Panda available, we could have potentially found a fly trap, but it's a bit of a long shot. So we'll take the Angel Shark to try and improve the stats on the Kakapo, which is obviously one of the drawbacks. It's a pretty poor stat line. And its ability is, I mean, it's decent, but it does have some problems in the sense that a lot of the other transform units, they actually upgrade the levels on the other pets as you level them up. So Rollaway Monkey, for instance, at level 2 is going to transform the 2 units ahead into level 2s. So you could still use a level up there. However, once you get to level 3, now you don't need the Kakapo anymore because it's because you're already maxed out on levels. I'm not sure how exactly I would change Kakapo. Maybe it could be a bit more flexible so that it's not always, so that it can level stuff up outside of transformation, so you could use it with some other teams. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But what I think is more interesting, again, is trying to go for stealing units from other packs. So we can do that using Cocoa Bean. So I put that on the Angel Shark, put it up the front, and then we're just hoping that we copy something fun from their side, and then the Kakapo will instantly level it up. Unfortunately, here on the transform we get the Shivhaka, which doesn't really help us, because we don't really want to transform our units. I'm happy getting the gold from Weasel. I suppose I could have transformed the Humphead Wrasse, but I'd rather not use the Shivhaka, although I did say I wasn't going to use any of the strong transform units. Here, unfortunately, we kind of ended up with it purely by accident, but it will get transformed into something else in a minute or two. As we end up tying there, perfect tie with the back 2 units having the same stats. I'm going to go for level 3 Kakapo as well. We do find the last Kakapo we need to get to level 3. Now it doesn't show that on the replay system, but this could well have been the first time that I actually got level 3 Kakapo. So pretty nice here copying the Frostwolf. I guess it wouldn't have done us much good to copy the Tiger Bug in the front position. And I think maybe did we overwrite some Fairy Dust so they didn't get any more extra jumps? But I do just want to find a Chickpea in order to transform the Shivhaka into something else. Here's my Golden Pack Nemesis. Unfortunately, we copy the Bird of Paradise. It would have been nice to copy the Fox and therefore get a ton of extra gold. But I think, yeah, the Wildebeest spends some of the trumpets here, which I think allows us to actually win. Maybe we would have lost there if the Wildebeest didn't consume some of the trumpets. I'm not sure. So we get the transform into the Baycat, one of my favourite units in this pack, so we're definitely keeping that. Again, unfortunately, we copy the Sauropod, which doesn't really do a whole lot for us. Although I suppose it was a stat upgrade, was it? And yeah, it's going to be another fairly straightforward win. I really just want to see something spectacular, though. You know, you want to see copying, you know, something that isn't just a huge unit. You want it to have a relevant ability, and for the Kakapo level up to actually matter as well. And then look at this, we get matched with this German Shepherd team. They have Fire Ant inside a Beluga. We copy the Beluga, and I didn't really know about this until Rev's video the other day, which I'll link in the description. But when you copy Beluga or Whale, you actually keep the pet that's inside as well. Funny glitch here where the unit looks like it's already dead before the hawk snipes it, but it's just a visual glitch. Now it's pretty rare in playing a static pack that I would actually end up with a full board of level 3s. But I guess in this situation, we've got a lot of units that we're just keeping indefinitely, which makes it a lot more likely that you're going to end up with a full board of level 3s instead of constantly pivoting in stronger later tier pets. Another comfortable win there. And we're closing in on the full level 3 board. Not going to get it this turn, but we do find chocolate. I often find like this is happening to me a lot, where I get to 9 wins and then it's 3 or 4 losses in a row and the game just ends. This is definitely going to be a loss. You can immediately see, we don't have any way to disrupt the blowfish getting the health back. I think even if we'd had golden tamarind and putting crisp or something on it, it wouldn't have made any difference. Or maybe it would. They did have a bunch of hedgehogs there, so maybe we could have potentially done something there. But blowfish is so strong. We don't really have much in the way of damage mitigation. But Unicorn Pack to the rescue. We always love to see Unicorn Pack when we're playing Danger. Even though they have double Sea Serpent, the amount of mana is so low that we get the triple summon at the end and they're not even necessary. So that was definitely the Kakapo achievement. I'm not sure about Baycat and Humhead Ras, but pretty nice, surprising win from my point of view.